every speaker is talking about stuff that all of us at our Amazon e-commerce conferences, we want to know. We're like, oh my gosh, like how do I figure out Facebook ads? And how do I figure out Google ads? And how do I grow my own website? And how can I, offer other things to my audience? And how do I grow my list? And these guys were like, each person that was on the stage was an expert at this stuff. And they were talking about stuff that I had never even heard about at any of the conferences I went to. And Kevin King, my buddy who's speaking at this event, you guys, a lot of you guys know him, he was there with me. And he was like, wow, this stuff is really good. And I honestly felt out of my depth, you guys. Like I was like, what are they gonna like, what am I gonna present that's gonna be interesting to these people? They're all like masters. And I was like, I've got to be part of this. I was like, I don't care what I need to do, but I need to learn all of this because it's incredible. And these guys are basically printing money in so many different ways that I'd never heard of. And I was so excited. So I was like, I have to bring this to my community. I have to join Jordan's community. I have to learn and meet all these people. And so that is why we're here today because I did. I joined Jordan's community and became a part of that. And I have been working on this for months. And I was like, what can I do? And Jordan said, let's put something together for your community. Let's bring speakers from your side, speakers from my side to help these people be able to multiply their revenue without adding new products. So I hope you guys are excited about that. And I hope you're going to be tuned in today. I hope if you have to leave today during the replay or during the live session, that you actually watch the replays because it is going to matter. And then I hope that you can stay live if you can, because we're going to have Q&A here. We're going to have, those key insights, which are going to help you answer those questions. Each speaker we have only has like 30 to 40 minutes to present. So, and then we're going to do 10 to 15 minutes of questions for each speaker. So those questions, those key insights are going to be so, so important. So what I can say is stay as long as you can, try to be tuned in. And if you have to leave, catch the replay when we send those out because these will be things you have not heard before. These are speakers you have not heard before. These are things that you've been wanting to learn. All of that. So, Jordan, that being said, why don't I hand it over to you and you tell these guys a little bit about you and what you do.
Yeah, thank you. I'll get to how excited we were to have you at that event as well, and the awesome opportunities we see. Super quick background. So I actually got into all of this through affiliate marketing in 2002. And I'll keep it really short, but I got pretty good at it. It through a lot of trial and error. It wasn't like immediate success. I did well. And I started learning the value of building a list and an audience really early with the affiliate marketing. I would start to build these lists and send out emails and make money promoting affiliate stuff. And that was like magic to me to be able to do that. And I got really reasonably good at it, and people started asking me how. So I started creating courses and these little scripts. Way before anything was called SaaS, it was these little tiny PHP scripts. And so I started doing product launches with some of the bigger names back then, like Ryan Dice and Frank Kern and folks like that, and started doing 6 and 7 figure launches. And at first, that was really exciting. But then I noticed that I would make a ton of money and then no money afterwards for a while until I created something else. And so after about a year of doing that, I wanted to create something evergreen. And so I got into mass market B2C courses, things like relationship courses and beauty courses and things like that. And so over the last 10 to 15 years, I've built a multi-8 figure company that publishes experts and sells courses. And it's funny because from my perspective, it's nice to have physical products to send traffic to because we're used to selling info, and that's another profit center. Um, but something that happened with me, look who it is. Um, uh, so something that happened with me is that I would be making thousands of sales a day for these say $20 to $50 courses, and my revenue wasn't increasing. And I got really like frustrated with that and I really wanted to figure out how to create profit margin in my business. And so over the last 8 to 10 years, I've become obsessed with different kinds of profit centers and how to expand actual take-home profits and profit margin in businesses. And so that's been my main focus. And that's led to a lot of really powerful tactics, strategies, alliances, and collaborations. And I've really discovered how important strategic collaboration is. So I have that B2C side, and I run this group and have an event called Profit Multipliers where I bring the best of the best that I can find when it comes to expanding profit margins and found money and profit center mastery. And that includes all the different modes: physical products, high ticket digital products, and traffic mastery and all these things. And so I just want to say when Amy came in and was talking about what she was talking about at Traffic Underground, that event, everybody was like, "Whoa!" Like we don't talk like TikTok shops. Like, what are all these things? And it had a very similar effect. I heard many times like, "Man, she's a beast or a monster in the best possible way." Like she's just so like amazing at this, and so it's been mutually exciting from my perspective as well. And we'll talk about why we're putting this together and why it's such a powerful effect that I think is going to come from this and the cross-pollination that comes from it. But that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. And, I would love to hear from you guys in chat. Jordan and I just talked about like why we're here and how we met and kind of why we put this together. Is there anything, Julie said that's why I'm here. I'm here to learn that. And I would love to hear from each of you guys, like what piqued your interest about this summit and why are you here? And what is that thing that is kind of where you're feeling stuck in your business or where you're looking for opportunity. We'd love to see that in chat. And then I'm going to share my screen and let's get into the agenda for the day. All right, let's see here. So we have some answers in chat already. Digital products launch and scale and profit. I think profit everybody wants, and I love that that was your focus, Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Um, Julie
Yeah.
says she loves the concept of cross-pollination.
Yeah. It almost seems like people talk about revenue and different things, but at the end of the day, take-home profits is something I don't think people focus on enough. So
Yeah, exactly. Shane says scaling. Mark says, I want multiple streams of income and profit. Samuel says, I'm looking forward to learn more about selling digital products and print on demand. Oh, you're here in time because our next speaker is covering that. Sai says, profit is sanity. Oh, heck yeah, it's sanity. Uh, We've got multiple streams of income. Danish, multiple streams of income. Yes. I think all of us, we want multiple streams of income because not only does that help us to diversify in our business, and feel better about, if something happens, right? I don't know how many of you guys had an issue during the pandemic where you were like, oh my gosh, now I've got to pivot in multiple ways and some people were prepared and their businesses survived and some weren't. um, and Name says, I'm here to learn from the best and become world class. You are world class just by being here, so I love that. All right, so let me share screen here. So as we mentioned, why we are here. What are you guys wanting to get out of this, and what do we want to get you guys for you guys to get out of this? And there's a few things, and I'll cover a few, and I'll turn it over to Jordan to kind of cap that off. But um, revenue ecosystems. So, that's what Jordan was just saying. He's really, really obsessed with profit and the different profit multipliers in the business. So we want you guys to understand. And with all of my clients that I've had coaching calls with in the last month, as I was putting the summit together, I brought up some of these things. Like I have a client, she sells something in the camping industry, right? And I said, well, what if you could your list that you have right now, your email list that you have right now, and many of you guys that are Amazon sellers are going, what list? We're going to help you with that. We're going to help you with that as well, because learning how to actually build a list very quickly and easily and how to nurture that list, those are two very important skills that aren't really taught, at least in our Amazon ecosystem. So I really want to expose you to that, and we're going to expose you to that during this 3-day summit. But I said, what if you could sell a camping offer to your list that isn't your product? What if you could sell someone else's product to your list and take a cut? What if somebody who sells experiences, somebody who offers special trips and experiences around camping, what if you could plug in with them and they could help you get more money out of your list and you're just taking cut, but you're serving your list? And she was like, wow, I never even thought of that. I was just focused on what was the next product. And I was confused even about what the next product could be. And so as I'm having, coaching calls with all these clients and I'm explaining like, oh, well, what if you did this? Or what if you did this? Because I'm exposed to this new community now and I'm learning all these things. People are like, oh my gosh, it's mind blowing. So all of my clients have been reaching out going, Amy, when's the summit? When's the summit? When's the summit? I got to be here. So helping you guys open your minds to what you can do besides sourcing more products is what we're here. So helping you master those revenue ecosystems, the immersive learning we're here to do, and then help you to thrive in any market condition. And that's what we're talking about, right? Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty going on. So we want you to be able to pull from multiple different systems, different revenue streams, and not only pull from them, but set them up to begin with. So anything to add to that, Jordan?
No, I think you nailed it. I think the underlying thing is just that, yeah, collaboration, the right kind of strategic collaboration, I think is the ultimate edge. And we're going to talk about multiple ways to harness that to increase your revenue and also your lead flow and to maximize what you have. Because I think a lot of people here have more assets than they realize that are worth a lot more than they realize.
Yeah, at your event, just hearing what you guys, the money you guys were able to pull out of lists of people that maybe this entrepreneur who had a list, they thought that basically there was no more money to get out of it. Nobody was really responding. You guys have expertise in this network that can pull money, like massive money, out of a 20% of a list. So that's really amazing and making those people feel like they're really being served too. It's not just selling crap to people, right? But really making them feel like they are being served and helping people grow. But pulling that money out, I just couldn't believe that. I was like, wow, this is incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll talk about super buyers at some point as well.
Yes. Super buyers, yes, that is an incredible concept. So you guys, we kind of both already talked about ourselves, so we can kind of move on from this. My background is in e-commerce, and I spent most of my life in the U.S. military, most of my adult life. But while I was in the military, I was also selling in e-commerce. So and then in 2017, I invented a product and kind of went full time into this and actually quit my job and I'm here today and now I'm working on even bigger things and I can't wait. It's super exciting. And Jordan, I don't know if you want to add on to, for me, I'm an Amazon partner, a TikTok partner. I own a couple of trade shows around the world. I help people source and develop unique products. And now I'm hoping to really help people experience life in a new level. And that's what I'm working on. Jordan, I don't know if you want to add a few more things about your background and some of the cool projects that you've worked on.
Yeah, so I have an eight-figure publishing company in the B2C space. We're still on the first page, but we've been a top 10 ClickBank product for a good like maybe 6 years out of the last 8 or 10 years, and have multiple platinum products over there. And I have three different masterminds. The main focus is definitely the rising tide, and that's where I think so much of what will be an edge for people is going to come from is that strategic collaboration, and so I also have a virtual sales team that sells a lot of high ticket, and have a lot of collaborations with powerful people that does anything from we can sell high ticket through direct mail. We have licensing solutions, high ticket sales solutions, all sorts of different really powerful things. And so my goal is to find the secret sauce, the secret weapons when it comes to monetization, and use those to power what I feel is the most important and rewarding pursuit that they're, well, one of them anyway. I guess there's things like parenting that are pretty important and things like that, but entrepreneurship. And I think that's going to be one of those skill sets that is going to become increasingly important in the age that we're moving into.
I love it. Very cool. So we already talked about why we're doing this, and we talked about, why we're here and why I felt compelled to share this with the e-commerce community. Um, and Jordan, did you want to talk about collaboration? Because this is your specialty, and then having a vacuum versus an ecosystem.
Absolutely. Well, so part of the reason I'm so excited that we're doing this and that you're a part of this, Amy, is that I feel like there are so many powerful alliances between the way that I think about it is the digital side and the physical side. There's so many powerful alliances between them, and the worlds tend to kind of stay separated. What I discovered is that in my businesses, every time I had a business that was in a vacuum, what I mean by that is, I'm just running my own paid ads, or I have my own affiliates or organic traffic coming in, but I keep it just self-contained, that it's always just a slice of the revenue and impact and just overall volume and momentum that can be had for that business. For the digital products, a lot of times it's really common to see offers that do really well for 1 to 2 years, maybe 3 to 4 years, and they have this sort of shelf life and just die off. Our offers have been going strong for 15 years now, because at a certain point, I realized how important it was to create an ecosystem where there's up and downstream effects. And not only does that drastically increase revenue, it also increases traffic and lead flow and leads to other opportunities that I wasn't even seeing, like coaching programs and different things to plug into. Because in every audience, I'm sure many here have heard about the Pareto principle and the 80/20 effect. In every audience, there's a whole array of different kinds of customers, but most of the time we just cater to a small slice of them, really. And if we can collaborate with other people, it creates massive wins and solves a lot of the problems to where we can almost operate like an 8 or 9 figure company uh, by providing those downstream solutions through partnership and collaboration. And it helps everybody. It makes you a lot more anti-fragile. You bring home a lot more money, and it also solves a lot of the traffic problems and lead flow problems. So, I feel like almost in like a kid in a candy shop when it comes to this opportunity for everybody that's involved, because it seems like we can all win by collaborating more. You brought up COVID. That was a really instructive moment for a lot of people. If you're collaborative and flexible and able to cross-pollinate, that's where I saw the biggest wins happening. And I think that now we're going into a time where that's more important than ever. We have the more uncertainty than I've seen in my life right now. And I think that that's the time when people come together and collaborate, really powerful things can happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's huge. And every bit of growth that I've had in my life and in my business has been because I've opened myself up to collaboration and networking. So I love that we're presenting that opportunity here today. So I want you guys, as you're watching all these speakers today, and we're going to bring Rachel, our first speaker, up in just a minute. But as you're learning from each of these speakers, I want you to be thinking about, what that could mean for your business to add that. Think about the opportunities and the collaboration that you could be doing, and how that might work. well for you. So we're going to do 3 days of this summit. And Jordan and I came together and we said, okay, we don't want to do like 3 8-hour days. We want to pick like 3 or 4 people each day that are key people, key players that can really deliver. And we want to do just a few hours each day. Really, really, kind of centered topics. So the first day today, we're focused on how do you um, find more product opportunities around you. So many of you are selling physical products. Maybe some of you are selling digital products, but what are the things that you can do to add more products to your line without more inventory? So that's going to be kind of the focus of today. And then tomorrow, day two, we're going to be talking about how do you actually grow. Maybe some of you have a list. You don't have a list. I'd love to see in chat. If you have a list, tell me you have a list. If you don't have a list, tell me you don't have a list. If you need a list and you need to know what to do with your list, then let us know because that's what we're focused on day two is okay, now you know how to add more products, but how do you actually grow a list and nurture a list to sell to more people, right? So we're going to talk about audience and asset monetization. So, how do we turn those browsers into buyers? How do we turn those buyers into subscribers and raving fans? How do we turn subscribers into advocates? Um, and then day three is partnership profit engine. So, yeah, okay, now you know how to expand your product lines without sourcing new inventory. You know how to grow and grow your list. You know maybe how to monetize some of your assets a little bit more, how to see those things as assets. But then day three, how do you actually collaborate? What are the collaboration opportunities that could be available to you? Opening your eyes to all of those opportunities.
Yeah, and just to throw in there, I think people will be shocked. I've seen this in practice before. This isn't all conceptual. There are probably cash injection, just sort of like windfall opportunities that would absolutely blow your mind, that would kind of solve every cash flow problem in the near term, and at the very least, if not much more long term as well. I'm super excited to delve deep into these. We've kind of gone to the depths, we pulled sort of an Indiana Jones and found some of the most amazing people that we could. So
Yeah, I can't believe, I've been diving into this network, and I was at in Austin last weekend at an event hosted by David Gonzalez, and there's a lot of the same people that are in this network that are in Jordan's network, and I just, I was once again, like Jordan's event, I was blown away. Jordan's mastermind collective that we have, I was blown away. Like, I'm so excited to be part of some of the deals that we're putting together. But I just, like, even this last weekend that I was in Austin for David's event, I was just like, these people are just literally like just printing money. Like I had no idea these types of things even existed. I'm so excited about it, and I can't believe, I've spoken at on probably hundreds of podcasts now. I've been at so many conferences around the world, and these are things I haven't heard before. Like, so it's just there's so many like rocks to lift up and like, oh my gosh, look under this rock, there's money there. So I'm excited to share it. It's exciting. Awesome. All right, let's get into the agenda for today and then let's turn it over to Rachel. So today, of course, we're right on time. We're doing pretty good on time here. So we did a little welcome and intro. You guys got to meet us, got to kind of understand like why are we doing this. And then we're gonna bring on Rachel here. Rachel is just incredible in the print on demand space, but she's doing things different on print on demand. So, most of us, when we think of print on demand, we're thinking of like mugs and t-shirts. Rachel is doing this at another level. So I'm excited for everyone here to kind of learn from Rachel and think about print on demand as a way to expand in their business and even maybe expand their traffic as well. Um, And then James is somebody from Jordan's network. So, Jordan, what is James going to be talking about today?
He's going to be talking about that marriage between physical and digital products and the opportunities there. And he's worked with some of the biggest people you can imagine on the digital side. So I'll let him say the names. I won't spoil his punchline, but uh, household names, and has helped them completely build out their profit centers, both on the physical and digital side. And he's going to go deep into exactly how to do that. And
That's
also, to say Rachel is one of my favorite people on the planet, and is just uh, keep your ears open to what she's about to say. She is amazing.
She is. She is. She's really great. And then we have Chris Green. I don't know how many of you guys know Chris Green. You may have heard of him, but this dude, he just, he's just good. Like with KDP, the things Chris does with KDP, like I didn't even think about. Like they didn't even cross my mind. And I have several books that I've published on Amazon, all that kind of stuff. I've done physical copies. And when you come to my China trip, you get a copy of my sourcing book. Like there's so many things that I've done with books, but Chris takes us to another level and he shows you how to grow your list, like how to do giveaways with your audience, like just makes books really exciting and easy and like things that you would never think about that you haven't heard from anybody else. So Chris is going to come today and talk to us about that. All right, I think we just have some housekeeping notes. So we're in a webinar format here, guys. So your cameras and your mics are off, but you can use the Q&A. So if you have questions we have Q&A and then we have chat, right? So if you have questions during a speaker topic, please put it in the Q&A so that it doesn't get lost in chat when we're scrolling, right? You guys know how that is where you're like, oh man, I think there's questions. Put it in the Q&A. So click on the Q&A in your Zoom and go ahead and ask a question there. And that's where the speakers at the end of their presentation, where we will be engaging with them and answering your questions. And then chat is open. Please remain respectful in chat. I know you guys will. I know this community, you guys are awesome. So, we're excited to bring all of this to you free. And let's keep chat open and awesome and positive. Anything to add there, Jordan?
Nope, I think you nailed it.
Okay. And then finally, how to make it count. And then we're going to turn over to Rachel. So, try to be here live. As I mentioned earlier, try to be here live as long as you can today and tomorrow and the next day. Try to really set aside this time because live allows you to ask those questions. And you may have questions. And if you're just watching the replay, you're like, oh, man, I really wanted to know that. And now I'm not here. So if you can join live and be here live, I realize for some of you, it's 2 a.m. It's the middle of the night and you're setting aside time. So shout out to all of them who are here in the middle of the night, your time. But we certainly understand that some of you have to catch a replay. That's okay. But if you can, stay here live with us. And share your insights. So if you guys learn something new, if you're like, wow, I could do this or I could do that, share your insights in the chat. Let's learn together. And then this is something that Jordan is a master at. And that's what do you take action on, right? You guys are going to learn a ton of different things from many different angles. We're bringing in many different speakers that are covering stuff that's like totally opposite, like print on demand to physical to digital to all these different things on day 3. I know Mike Nunez is going to come in and talk about product customization, which he's taken to the next level. So he's actually like a day 1 speaker, but he only was available on day 3. So sometimes you're going to find some speakers that follow a different theme on a different day because of availability, but that's okay. So take action, right? So don't just listen to these things, like really identify what's going to move the needle for you and take action on that. Anything to add there, Jordan?
Nope, that's perfect. Yep.
Okay. So amazing. Um, let's get to moving. Oh, Jordan, did you want to talk about the collective?
Yeah, we don't have any sneaky sales pitches coming up for anything. It's more I think as we talked about, strategic collaboration is everything. This is a shot in this picture from the mastermind that we have, or no, this is from the Traffic Underground. And And what we think is the most powerful thing. We're putting this together to create a movement of collaboration between these two different worlds that I think is going to create so many ripple effects and so many powerful opportunities. It's amazing what can happen when you have a low ticket, high volume business, whether that's digital or physical products that you sell, that suddenly bolts on a $5,000 solution that's perfect for your audience and what that can do to the money math in your business. Whether that's something you create or partner with or collaborate on. And that's one example. There's so many different things that we're going to talk about. And the key is having really good people all pointed in the same direction and working together. And that's how you can become impervious to the change, the winds of change that happen. And so we're putting together this collective. Um, I think as you'll see as we talk about what we'll be talking about at this event and the people that are involved and the opportunities that are just sitting right here, that this is one of the most powerful things that you can consider. And I'm super excited about this collective that we're putting together because it again, I think it's going to lead to some of the biggest wins and ripple effects that any of us have considered when separate versus combining together. And so we're going to talk about this more. But wanted to float this up there and let you know to keep in mind. Also, I think it's a good opportunity. There might be another slide for this, but this is all about collecting and bringing together the best people in both worlds that have a collaborative mindset. And so, as you're watching this and you have these big insights, which I'm sure you will, because I've seen some of the presentations and I've had epiphanies just looking at the slides. Think about who you know that's also a mover and shaker that would be a really good part of this, and let them know. Share screenshots on social. We're looking to create a center of gravity of awesomeness and some really powerful snowballs. I know I've been told I use a lot of funny words, but I love business snowballs. I love profit centers, all these different things. And so anyway, yeah, that's just touching on it. It's going to be one of the most powerful groups anybody can be a part of that's in these worlds.
I love it. Yeah, and about the sales pitch stuff, like Jordan is not a sales pitch guy. I basically had to chase him down and be like, "How do I give you money? I want to be part of this. Like, stop. Tell me how to do this." So he's very like kind of chill. And I think it's because we want the right people. You want people that really want to be there and that want to be part of this. So, we're here today to open your eyes. And if you want to dive deeper and be part of the collective, we have that for you. All
Yep.
right. So without further ado, let's do it. And wait. One more thing. I just want to look at the chat really quick. Um, I want to see here when I said email lists. Julie said, growing email lists is something I need. Sai says, I got a list. Mark says, I have a list. Chad says, I have a couple of different lists. Need to know what to do with them. Nick says, I have a list from an old brand of mine, wondering if I can monetize it for a new brand or a new product. Oh, heck yeah, you can, Nick. Just wait. Shahid says, I'm sorry for the off question. Is there a recording? Yeah, there will be a recording. There will be a replay. Julie, print on demand. Looking forward to this. All right, lots of questions about recording. Anna says, this is so exciting and so relevant right now. Love it. Yes. Julie says, this is where I'm at. So many opportunities. Which one to choose? Yeah, I get it, Julie. I get it. Sai says, no sneaky pitches. That is a phrase you don't hear on these things. Thank you and simply amazing. And Julie says, chill and snowball. She likes your words, Jordan. So, I mean, let's bring Rachel up. You guys, how many of you guys are excited to learn about print on demand? Wow. Oh, Rachel, you're Janelle Page today. How did that happen? Let's
That's a good question.
let's rename you. Let's rename you. Here we go. I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it.
There we go.
That is some ninja tactics. I have no idea how to do that.
Well, there are many things that you do know how to do. So, and one of them is print on demand. So, I mean, we're so excited to learn from you. Thank you for being here. And yeah, take it away whenever you're ready.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks, guys, for having me. It's nice to see you both. It's a fun way
You
to start the morning-ish. Morning-ish, it's 11:45. All right, I'm gonna share my, oh, I actually need sharing permissions, please.
Oh, yes. Well, we do need to fix that. Okay. More ninja tactics coming your way. Go ahead, Rachel.
Perfect. Get over here. And can you guys see my screens okay? My
Yep.
slides?
Yeah, I see how you can
Beautiful.
use print on demand plus AI to add new product lines.
Boom shakalaka. Let me move it okay. Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, guys, it's awesome to be here. I'm glad some of you guys are excited about print on demand because I am excited to share it with you. So, the slide says, oh, you'll see, by the way, let me just move this little thing, that I love my little AI pictures. So here we have a fun little robot making money while we're sleeping. This is just the beginning. Just you wait. Lots of good ones. Okay, so you guys are in the right place. Oh, my little picture thing is in the way. Let me see if I can move that so I can see my slides. But you guys are in the right place here if you maybe have a Shopify brand, there we go, and you want new income streams. So either like side hustle cash or just new product lines with what you're working on, which I saw some of you guys say in the comments. If you like the idea of earning while you're doing anything else, maybe you're creative, you don't have design chaps, or you just want fun, not funnels. Okay. So we are actually at an incredible time. I thought I would show you guys my sales for print on demand. This isn't my main business or anything, but as you can see, they were talking about the pandemic before. For me and my business, my print on demand business crushed during the pandemic because everyone was at home on government money. But then it was just going down, down, down. And then I started to embrace AI. You can see in 2024, we went back up. And then 2025 is up 5.66% so far. So we're in a good, it's a really good time, especially with AI. And so I'm going to share with you about print on demand and then also some of my favorite AI hacks so that you guys can crush too. So how I started, by the way, with print on demand is I started selling on Amazon years ago, and I was selling random products like Easter cookie cutters and wooden easels. And you guys know how it goes with the e-com products. You have to do a bunch of research up front. You have to buy the inventory, hope it works. You get a bad review. It's like, you're done. So not ideal, especially for when I was getting things like the Easter cookie cutters, Easter ends, and then we're done. So I didn't find it to be super fun. Customer service, all that, not the most fun. So I had a boyfriend at the time's ex now, who had a Facebook fan page, and he was selling mugs to his Pitbull fan page. And so what I decided to do was to take his product. I'd already been familiar with Amazon doing FBA, but I decided to see, I don't know if you guys know FBM, fulfilled by merchant. And I put the mug on my Amazon page and listed it for sale. So it was just it said, in a perfect world, every dog has a home with a picture of a pit bull. And it actually got a sale really quick. This was back in 2015. In the chart I showed you, that was since 2017 when I was doing my, when I started collecting everything. But 2015, first sale, and it very quickly became a $300 a month income stream. So that was pretty awesome, especially compared to these other things that were so high risk. I mean, you guys know, coming from the world of e-com, there's just so much into selecting products and everything. So doing print on demand really helped change my business approach because it was this thing where there was no inventory headaches, just profit, loved it. Okay, so I feel like probably most of you guys know what print on demand is, but can you just feel free to put in the chat, do you know what print on demand is, or is this the first time you're hearing about it? I'll look at that. Okay, you know what it is. Awesome. We got another yes. Perfect. Sure. Okay, well then I'll give a quick little thing, but sounds like you guys are good. And thank you guys for all the comments. It's so much more awesome when you guys are talking and everything. Oh, you're doing it, Mark. That's awesome to hear. Okay, so the super simple version, then you create your design. I'm going to show you how to do it with AI. Customers will see your products, you collect the money, and then the third-party printer will print them for you. Okay, so obviously, once I had the pit bull mug doing well, I scaled to different dog breeds. And so I pulled my little Amazon shot here. You can see it was selling for pit bull, for German Shepherd, for Rottweiler, Golden Retriever, Boxer, etc. And it was just taking that one phrase and putting it to lots of different things. And so what we're going to try to do here is just always work smarter, not harder. And when we have something that works, which we'll get into how to get them, how you can just take them and multiply them, which I saw someone saying they wanted scale. So that's great. Okay, so the way that I look at all of this is that every design that you're going to make, it's a new asset stream. You see here, by the way, another AI image. The more buy buttons you put out there, the more chance that you have to make sales. So they're not all going to sell, but they're so easy to create. And so the fun thing about print on demand, as I say, you can fail 98% of the time. You can fail 99.5% of the time. It doesn't even matter because especially you guys know if you're on Amazon, you can launch your products as much as you want. Doesn't cost anything. On Etsy, it's 20 cents per listing, but still the numbers kind of just work in your favor and it's not as intensive. Like Jordan was saying, one of his words is chill. That's my word too. I want everything to be chill. And back then I was making lots of sales, but with AI, I mean, you can catch things faster than ever before. So I pulled from the Amazon bestseller list. I mean, you guys know, I guess, print on demand. For those of you who know about print on demand, do you know it through Shopify or have you heard about it through like Amazon and Etsy? I'm curious about that. But as Amy said before, Etsy. Okay, awesome. So here's a fun fact for you guys off the bat is that I am actually making way more on Amazon than I am on Etsy. So I know people sometimes think print on demand is dead. Etsy is a lot harder than it used to be for sure, but Amazon crushing. I've actually been since Amazon 5 figures every single month since 2015, with the exception of 2 months in 2018 when I made a mistake. Yeah, I wouldn't say Etsy is dead, but it's definitely not as alive as Amazon. And then as Amy was saying, it doesn't have to be mugs. It can sell all different types of products. I'll walk you guys through some of my favorite products later on, but these things just crush. Depending on what you sell to, by the way, you guys can add potentially customization to whatever your e-com products are. So I took some examples here. Let's say you're selling speakers or headphones or jewelry cases, but there's all kinds of things. If you guys want to share the products that you're selling, you're welcome to. We can see if there's types of personalization. But now with engraving products, I used to own a fulfillment center. I've sold it, but I know there's just so many different ways to personalize like anything. And so that could potentially be a cool new profit stream for you too.
And Rachel, we're actually going to cover that on day 3. Mike Nunez is coming in and he's going to show you how to customize your product. So you can combine the strategies that Rachel's teaching you today, which I'm sure she's got some custom options as well with things she's plugged into. But then with those advanced customization options that Mike is going to be teaching on day 3, you guys are just going to be able to crush it in this category with products that you potentially already have in your inventory.
Of course, you've thought of that with all your your planning expertise. Of course, you guys, as you know, Amy is a baller of the highest order. That's awesome. Okay, so what we're going to go over, besides what I said, here's another one. I don't know if I love this phrase, two birds, one stone, but I got Gemini to make this image. It's how to add print on demand to your business line, how you can use it as a business model to find new alternatives too. So I'll go over print on demand as the general model. I know that you guys know kind of the general concept, but you can use some of this information to identify new profit centers for what you're already selling. And then there's a lot more too. So Amy and I are actually going to be doing another training down the line here. So okay, awesome. Mark says fitness accessories, lifting belts, wrist wraps, lifting straps. Yeah, those are things that can absolutely be personalized. So Mark, I think it was Mark Nunez, I'm sure will do amazing. Third party, yes, we'll go over third parties and I'll make sure to answer your question too, Rebecca. Great questions. So I was joking the other day in 2015, you know how like your grandparents might have said, oh, when I was your age, I had to walk uphill in the snow, bare feet, 6 miles, whatever it was. That's how I feel like with 2015 when it came to print on demand when I got started because research took forever. You had to manually design. If you had creative blocks, you were screwed. But now in AI, you can come up with all of these designs in seconds, create designs super quickly. You have a 24/7 creative team working on your behalf. It is poetry. And it's just really fun. I love it. It's creative business. I actually just spoke at an event for business owners, and they all had existing businesses. And so many of them were interested in this too, just because it's a fun way to create income that is just low stress. Okay, so a fun little example of how easy print on demand can be is I was watching Netflix I don't know, a couple months ago maybe. And I guess people have opinions on one of the characters and which boyfriend is Rory, what they like the best for her. So I made 3 quick mugs, one for Team Dean, one of the guys, Team Logan, and one for Team Jess, 2 words each one. I upload them, I put them onto a mug, and people bought them. Super simple designs. You can see just these. I made them on the app WordSwag. So it's here on the slide. If you guys aren't using WordSwag and you want to do print on demand designs, it's a really awesome app. So you can see we had the 7 mugs, and all of these took just, seconds to create. 7 mugs sold from Team Dean, 22 for Logan, and 45 for Jess. So that was, and we'll walk you guys through the how much you actually make per product. But
Well,
it's five.
obviously Jess is the winner then.
Jess is not the winner. Is that what you think? Logan is the winner, and I'm disappointed in humanity.
I love this idea.
Unbelievable.
Don't you guys love this idea? It's so cool. Yes, love it.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. Yeah. So I'm going to walk you guys through what the cost or what the take home profit is after everything. But I just did some marketer math. This is clearly not really what it is, but $518 in take home profit, 3 minutes worth of work at some marketer math. We love some marketer math. That's $10,360 an hour for those designs. So basically getting paid to watch Netflix. Love that. And okay, so the AI playground here is we just get to low risk, lots of learning here. Now, I was thinking, by the way, specifically for you guys with ecom, one of the things you can do too is look at your reviews, see what people are leaving reviews about. So Mark, for example, you were saying you do fitness accessories. Are people buying for specific workouts? And if so, that can be really good for you to make designs based off of the specific workouts. You can't do Zumba, Zumba's trademarked, but other things that people might be looking for that gives you some print on demand ideas. Maybe you sell kind of footwear and people are talking about going to Greece. Well, then you can make actually one product that I have that does really well is I'd rather be in blank with the different countries. So that's another just super chill way to come up with these designs, pop things up and see how they go. Now, I've been teaching this for a long time. I've had over 1,000 people that actually posted and said that they made their first sale using my training. And don't worry, I have nothing to sell you guys here, but what was already easy has become easier. You guys, like this is such a good time. So I'm going to go over some questions that you guys might have about print on demand, and then we're going to go into my favorite prompts, how you can start doing it, all the things so that you're walking out of here with some really good value. First, we can have a moment for these amazing designs. I had like 40 more I could have put on here. I had GPT make a bonfire of old beliefs with this little summer theme. And I'm my own greatest fan here. Thank you. Okay, so some of the questions that you guys might have. First, is it too saturated? Is print on demand too saturated? Yes, I will totally give you some stats about the fees and expenses and profit. That's a great point. So yes, of course, print on demand is way too saturated right now if you're going after generic products. If you're trying to sell some kind of like #1 mom mug or something, thank you, Julie. Forget about it. It's not going to work. You're competing with China and they're selling mugs for pennies on the dollar. So absolutely, you're not going to be able to profit well that way. But when you go into more specific products, which we'll get into, there's so much opportunity. I mean, you guys saw my chart with my sales, which is going up, up, up. Also, I just learned through Perplexity, and I love that Perplexity cites its sources because I didn't even believe this. But print on demand right now, it's a $12.96 billion industry in 2025. But there are projections it's going to reach $103 billion by 2034, which is 26% year over year growth. And I think a lot of that is because personalized items. So it's awesome that Mark's going to be coming and sharing more about that too, because we're moving into such an experience economy. And so having things that are specifically for people, like this is me with my name, my photo, whatever, it works. Personalized surfboards, yeah, of course, you could do engraving on the personalized surfboards. And Rebecca, yes, I do set up the listings as FBM on Amazon. And then we'll go over some of my favorite fulfillers. You are on it with the awesome questions. Okay, so how are we supposed to compete with $5 mugs or shirts from China? You cannot. They're going to win on rock bottom prices, mass production. It's not going to work. So we're going to go after the very specific items for people, like Pitbull mug is an example, that have specific messaging where people have this just like made just for me kind of feeling. Okay, so Shahid, you asked how much you're really making. So I would say on average for a lot of these products, I'm going to say $5 to $10 margin per item. Now, if you're doing something, for example, like a personalized surfboard, well, you could probably add a lot more to that because that's not a common thing. If you're selling things like jewelry, you can have more, but 5 to 10 for the common kind of products. So for me, the way that I look at it is some people say, well, that's not that much. That's true, but this is like seven after or 5 to 10 after all of the expenses. So I'm all about making $7 a couple times a day, dozen times a day, whatever. From things I made, by the way, sometimes you can make designs that don't sell until years later, but they're just assets sitting there. You guys know with Amazon, you don't have to rotate out your inventory or anything. So I want to be clear, this isn't necessarily going to make you like a mega millionaire or something. I guess I've technically made millions of dollars with this, but it's not the expectation. But it's just a chill and easy business for people that you don't have to worry about spiking your cortisol, like if you're a normal business owner where so many things can be stressful. This is just chill, fun, love it. Okay. And yes, you could totally personalize baseball caps, probably even the hair tools. Yeah, absolutely. You can do product personalization on food items. I mean, think if you have a premium chocolate box and someone's giving it as a gift to have, someone's last name on there or something. Yes. And you can sell FBM outside of Amazon too. You guys are asking, I'm really grateful that you guys are so involved and you're asking so many questions. You guys are a phenomenal, phenomenal crowd. Okay. And so my intention with this is even if print on demand isn't your thing, the things that you learn, the skills are going to kind of transfer. You'll see how to use it for other things. I have a friend that learned print on demand. I taught her, and now she has a wedding card business that she's crushing because of the things that she learned. Okay, so my AI toolkit is custom GPTs. Are you guys familiar, by the way, with custom GPTs? Feel free to type in. We'll go over that a little bit. Google Trends, Canva AI, bulk upload tools. No. Okay, so we have a no and a yes. I'm sure the others will come in. We'll go over that a little bit. Oh, let me move this up. Okay. So the bird's eye view here of what we're going to go over is step one, we're going to go into picking a niche. Step two, creating designs. We'll go over some of my favorite tools, listing your products, and then having your orders fulfilled. Okay, so step one is finding niches. So we are going on buyer search engines. So you guys want to think when you're like, before you make your products, what would people be typing in before they're purchasing from us? Maybe they're typing in funny knitting mug or a gift idea for drummers or something related to your product. Then we're going to give them what they're looking for. Now, this is why, personally, if you guys are crushing it with Shopify, that's great. I've never been able to do well with Shopify because I'm not good at paid ads. I don't do any paid ads with Etsy. On Amazon, I do just because it's like printing money. Basically, once you have something that's working, I only do ads after I have something working. But this is just making it so much more simple because you're going to what people are saying, I want to pay for this, and we're giving them exactly what they want to pay for. So it just kind of puts things in your favor a little bit. If you guys want, by the way, a list of a bunch of different niches that you can sell to, you can go to rachelrofe.com/design list. There's no opt in or anything there just to kind of try to help you guys with some ideas, you're welcome to. Because what we want to do is just go across as many different groups of people as possible for the general print on demand model. Even for what you're selling, though, if there's other ways that you can expand out, awesome. Okay, and then I'll answer about the weightlifting straps, but it's going to be a lot of the same kind of things. You'll just make multiple listings going after different people, and then you could work with a fulfiller. Okay, so option A for print on demand is to create a formula that's going to apply to lots of different people. So for example, here we have this blank runs on caffeine and sarcasm. You could do it to teacher, nurse, engineer, mom, because once you have one good formula, then it's a matter of let's get out as many buy buttons as possible. So love the formula option. And going back to I used to be walking uphill in the snow years ago. I remember I would go on Wikipedia and I would copy and paste a whole bunch of different things, but now AI does everything. So there used to be the smug, there's a chance this is why, and it was super popular. And you can see here different kind of alcohol types. And so I went on Wikipedia and I found every possible alcohol type and I plugged it in. But now AI, you could just say, give me a list of 100 different things. I'll also show you how you can bulk edit and create tons of designs at once. You can have AI just say, there's a chance this is, and then fill it in for you over and over and over. The other option that you can do is ask for sub niches. So what I like to do is make a ton of different designs, get a bunch of different listings up. By the end of this, you'll see how crazy simple it is. And then after you're selling in a particular category, then you can scale up. So I always say just make one product per niche and then keep it moving. Now, let's say you sell something in basketball, then you can go in and make more products for basketball. So in this example, I asked GPT, please give me 100 sub niches of people in the basketball niche who I might be able to sell mugs to. And it gave me all different types of things I hadn't thought of. Wheelchair basketball, as you can see the image, basketball coach, different types of basketball, different types of players in basketball, point guard, etc. So lots of things there, it's super helpful. You can also ask for your guys' particular markets. You can ask for sub niches there. So for example, different people who might be interested in surfboarding or weightlifting. As you said, I mean, it might even be for the weightlifting that it gives you different types of people that have certain conditions that need to do it or certain ages. It might be a good birthday gift or there's just so many different options. So this really helps. As you guys, I'm sure know from ecom, the riches are in the niches. I have seen some crazy things. Have you guys ever heard of elder emo? Feel free to type in the chat. Is elder emo a thing that you've heard of? Because I hadn't heard of it. But this is, yeah, no, I didn't think, I didn't
Elder
think
emo?
elder emo. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys. So elder emo is apparently elder millennials who were into emo music back in the day. So here we have an example. I know this is just funny to cut my life into pieces. This is making $1,718 a month on Etsy, just for people who are into elder emo. It gets weirder. We have, well, this one's not, I mean, I have another one that's weird, but for welders, I'm silently judging your welds. This is when you could put a formula across tons of different niches, $347 a month. Yeah, here's a hint, they live in New Mexico. Could be.
A little bit red.
Santa Fe, probably, yeah. Goblin Core is another one. Goblin Core. Have we heard of I've never heard of Goblin. This one, $2,000 a month. And so this is why I love just going after a bunch of different things. Here's one making just under $4,500 a month for a customized sweatshirt. And these are the kinds of things for these custom, you can look at your reviews, for example, for the surfboard, see who people are buying the products for, and then you can make customized. Let's say someone buys their surfboard for their daughter. You could see that and then say, okay, maybe I'll make a sweatshirt for surfing daughters and then be able to personalize it with names. And the cool thing is when you're doing this with a print on demand, you can test out a whole bunch of things. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. So this is a really good way for you guys to get in the new product streams, test fast, and not have to worry too much about any one thing. Here's another example. Let's say you're in the dog market. This is a candle, $937 a month for that. Okay, so the next thing we do after you guys come up with your niches is we make designs. So most of my bestsellers are super simple. Here is one of my favorite prompts for coming up with great phrases. I know this is going to sound super weird, but it works. GPT will live off of your energy. If you go and you put in some energy, it's going to give you some good stuff back. So this one says, help me, there's a gun against my head. This is my best one so far. I need to be able to come up with the most extraordinary viral print-on-demand slogans ever. In the next prompt here, or heads are going to roll. Please help me come up with unique phrases that are really funny, pithy, sarcastic, innuendo, all do well. They'd go viral, can be spread across various niches. So this is for general print on demand. You can do it for your niche specifically, but they need to be able to put them across wide things. I need multiple slogan ideas that are phrases that can appeal to tons of different occupations. If I can't make $100,000 in 30 days with these, they're going to cement my feet, throw me in the water, make them so funny, do your best research on bestsellers, give me slam dunks, $1,000 bonus for an extraordinary job. So I've basically used every little thing to get them to give me some good stuff. $100,000 in 30 days is wildly not realistic, but it's just getting them to kind of think as good as possible here. So if you guys want that prompt, by the way, just rachelrofe.com/help me. There is, again, no opt-in or anything. Yeah, dude, that works like poetry. So some of the things that it gave me here for this example, when I put it in, and I did it for just different types of nurses. Like I'm a blank nurse. Here I can smell a code from 3 rooms away. So I'm an occupational nurse, I'm an emergency room nurse, etc. I'm a blank nurse. My back has entered its villain era. That's something that people would love. I'm a blank nurse. This is the one that I love. Sleep deprivation is my love language. That would work for probably everybody for every occupation. Okay. So keep asking your questions, and then as soon as we're done, I'm going to go through and make sure to answer as many as I can in the time that I have. You guys are asking phenomenal questions. Okay. Bonus that you guys can do, by the way, for coming up with phrases is you can make a custom GPT. So when we do our other training, because I know we don't have endless time here, but maybe this is something maybe we can include in, or I can include in the other training. But so in GPT, there's a section for GPTs. You can make your own GPT so that every time you go in and interface with a certain GPT, it can give you really good answers fast. Because I don't know if you guys have seen when you're talking to GPT for a long time, it'll lose the plot, it'll forget things. So I like to take my best prompt, put them inside, and just have that on demand. So I actually created a custom GPT. I call it the Unlimited Design Idea Generator. I put in my best prompt. It's a paid tool, but because you guys are here with Amy, Jordan, you're amazing. I love your questions, but I obviously didn't know your questions ahead of time, but I do know I love Amy and Jordan. I'm just going to give you my custom GPT. You can go to rachelrofe.com/who loves ya, and then you can use that to come up with phrases. Okay. So some of the best design tools for images. Here's another good image I personally love. Nailed it with the little nails. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here all day. ChatGPT. Love Art is another one. I don't know if you guys have heard of Love Art yet. It's kind of new. It takes credits, but you can make some sick images with Love Art. Imagine.art is another good one. Canva is good. Gemini is hit or miss, but when it hits, it's great. And Ideogram. If you guys haven't heard of Ideogram, I forgot to put it on here, but IDEOGRAM. Awesome products. When you guys are making designs, by the way, ask for transparent backgrounds. You can apply them on all different types of products. If it doesn't listen, like Gemini doesn't, remove.bg is a really good tool that you can use for free. Okay, so I personally like to set up everything for evergreen so that, as I said before, sometimes you might list something in years ago and it'll sell later. So that's most of my bread and butter, but you can also use AI for trends. So you could do things like Google Trends and see what's popular, ask AI to come up with different phrases, create the design, and then see. So some examples of things, eclipses, when there's big eclipses going on, I've seen students just crush it with those, especially the once in a life kind of things. politics, certainly don't watch news on my account, but if you do watch the news or you're into politics, I've seen on both sides of politics just do really well. During the pandemic, yeah, Cuomo sexual, exactly. People were super into Cuomo for the I'm giving an example on both sides, liberal and conservative. So the Cuomo sexual thing crushed. It was just the word Cuomo sexual, and people bought it like crazy. On the other side, back in the 2016 election, we had, I guess Hillary had made some comment about how the conservatives or people voting for Trump were deplorables. I had a student that made a mug that said something like proud to be a deplorable. She made something like, this is not typical in any way, but she made something like $50,000 in 2 days. She was getting picked up by news stations. So every once in a while, you can really crush it with trends. Now, as I mentioned before, I like to do formulas. So coming up with one phrase and then applying it to lots of different things. This is your way to get buy buttons out in as easy of a way as possible. So in this example, I wrote, Dear blank, I'm glad to be your favorite. And then that would get filled up like Dear Mimi, Dear Papa, Dear Grandma, whatever. And then you can have Canva bulk create. So you come up with all the phrases and then Canva will just plop it into each design. So because we don't have unlimited time here, I just did a redirect to Canva's instructional video on how you can do this. So if you go to rachelrofe.com/bulk create, it'll walk you through exactly how you can do that. And I'm happy to give you guys my slides too, because I know I go fast sometimes. So for finding early buzz, if you guys want to do the trends kind of things, we've got Google Trends, TikTok Creative Center, which Amy knows all about, finding viral trends, Pinterest trending, Exploding Topics is a really good paid tool, Etsy. And then if you guys have kids in your lives, game over. They know all these different words and things that we don't, and they can come up with some really good buzzwords that make sales. Okay, so adding your design to listings. I saw a couple of you guys asked about who my favorite suppliers are. So Custom Happy, for sure, for one, that was my old fulfillment center. I've sold the company, but I still use them because my friends bought it. They do a great job and they have a lot of unique products. And then printproductsfast.com, which just it's a redirect to Printify. So those, I know there's a ton of suppliers out there, but those are the ones that I can back the most. And so you basically just put your design up. You guys know how it works, so I won't go super into it. I just did a little GIF here of taking the design, and then you plug it onto whatever the site is. I don't think it ends on this one, but you plug it onto the site, and then here you pick your product, hit the upload button, shake hands, kiss babies. Okay. So when you're listing your products, you're going to want to optimize as much as you possibly can. So here's a little prompt I use. And actually, I say you want to optimize as much as you can. You want to optimize your title as much as you can if you're using Etsy or Amazon tags, but I don't always do descriptions because I'm trying to keep it as chill as possible. But for something like this, I'd say, please write me a keyword stuffed title, tags, and description for an aardvark mug I'm selling on Etsy as an example. I want people to find it effortlessly and then foam at the mouth with a description and get the highest conversion rate possible. Thank you. Again, got to bring up the energy for the energy to be brought back with them. So here's a good example of a product with a really good title. So this is personalized squirrel mug on Etsy. So if someone's searching for personalized squirrel mug, you've got it. Squirrel mug or a coffee cup for squirrel or custom squirrel cup, all those words are in there because we're going after what are people typing in order to find us. And so we need to have all those words inside the title. What I find a lot of times is people come up with these phrases that they think are funny, and they might be funny, but if no one's searching for them, then it's never going to get found. Okay, if you guys haven't sold on Etsy yet, just have you can go to rachelrofe.com/Etsy and you'll get your first 20. It gives us both 20 listings free. Doesn't really matter to me. Oh, but again, another image. Thank you. Thank you. I like this one. What was that? That was GPT, I think. Okay, so the thing here is we want to keep it as simple as you can. We want to put out a ton of products, test out on tons of different product types, scale what works. So again, we're throwing spaghetti at the wall, spray and pray is another way of putting it. And I know people might say we're flooding the internet with garbage, but it's not really because, I mean, even if you think about famous artists and things, a lot of them is you put out a lot of quantity and then you get the quality from there. So it really isn't like get rich quick, but it does add up over time. It's genuinely fun. It's a cool way for you guys to add in some new income streams. So some of the products that I'm doing really well with right now, teddy bears do really well. It's a custom happy product. Cutting boards have a really big profit margin and can do really well. You can get those personalized. Um, Even like you guys can think creatively. So for those of you who have the fitness products, because print on demand is so easy for you to test, what's to stop you from making a cutting board and saying something like Gina's healthy recipes get cut here? Or my sister brought me a cutting board that said something like, this is where I murder vegetables with pictures of vegetables on there. So who knows? As they were saying before, Amy and Jordan, about just thinking about different kind of looking at things in different ways. That's an example. The frame for the fitness. You can say, here's where you're going to put your after picture. I mean, tons of different things, ornaments, passport holders, candles. So this is how it gets different because like I said before with the mugs, of course, everyone's got mugs now. It's going to be hard to profit, but think out of the box. That's how my sales are up. And again, the other different things, this was just me. I put in the same prompts to lots of different ones because it's just fun. So stick with me, kid. Maybe you too can get paid to watch Netflix or read reviews. All right, so we're going to go over questions. I'll also say, by the way, if you guys want more, Amy and I have a upcoming training. So you can either, if you're on your computer, go to rachelrofe.com/let's go, or on your phone, you can do the QR code, which I learned how to make a QR code, Amy, because you told me to. So thank you for making my skills better.
I love it. Rachel,
Yes.
you're, I can't believe how much value you just, like, guys, can you believe how much value Rachel just provided? She just gave you, like, I can't believe this is free. Like, and we're about to do some follow-up training together in July. I think it's July 8th or 9th. At
Nice.
the QR code, you guys will see what date it is. I forget off the top of my head, but amazing. So many cool ideas. I've actually dug into Rachel's course and it is phenomenal. And I love how she like helps you get around like trademark issues and like you can do really trending designs and all of us, all of us, no matter what we're selling, can grow our revenue streams, whether you're starting a new brand or you're wanting to customize your existing brand. This stuff is freaking magic. Red says she gave a business to start with no capital and ideas that probably don't exist that are solid. Kudos. Should we get into questions, Rachel?
Let's get into questions. Let's do it.
I'll put in the chat the link and then and if you want to scroll through let's see, and this is for you guys. Rachel and I are doing a training, I think it's next week or the week after, but anyway, if you guys want to get further into this and learn more and just hang out with us because we're cool, then you should come.
Yeah, enough said.
All right. So, I mean, we had some questions here. Let's see. How do you validate products? Nick wants to know, how do you validate products and how much do you spend on ads until you decide if it's a winner or a loser?
So this is the magic of print on demand. We're not validating products. We're just throwing up a whole bunch of different things and then it validates itself because people either pay you or they don't pay you. And then I don't do ads until people have already paid me. So after we've made some sales, then we know that it makes sense to throw the ads up. But otherwise, I just like you guys will see the biggest theme here is chill, chill, chill. I don't want to risk money, don't want to risk anything. Just let the market speak.
Awesome. Makes sense. Yeah. And you can test on multiple platforms, which I love. And you know, you can just kind of cast a wide net and kind of go from there. So I want to know, can you break down the profit margin on a, like, for example, a mug? And there was a couple of people with questions about like how much money is made. So, you know, Simon gave this great example of pod mug selling for $10. for example, Amazon fees are $2, PPC was $2, cost of goods was $1, 3PL was 50 cents, print on demand cost of $1.50, delivery $3 plus returns, right? So he's just curious, like, how does that work and how do you set your prices?
Oh, I thought of everything. Well, first of all, I wouldn't sell a product for $10, and that's where you get into competing with China for low cost things. So I would sell something more, let's say a mug at $20. And so the cost for that, Amazon's, I think, 15%. So that would be $3. Let's say a mug shipped is another $11. So that costs for the mug with the shipping and then the mug with the design and the shipping. And then we have the fee. So let's say that adds up to $13. And once you're working with these providers, they're not charging you extra to ship out the products. They're going to just ship them after you make the sales. You don't have to worry about ads because we're not doing ads. You only ever do it once you know that it's working. So then you can do it and it makes sense. So in that example, you make $20, you pay $11 for the merchandise, another couple dollars for the fee, 13. I don't think there's anything I'm forgetting. That's $7 that you have left.
Okay. And then another question is about customizing products. So let's say that you have fitness gear like weightlifting straps and you want to offer customization. How does that print on demand process work for customization like that?
So if you're doing them with your products, it's not going to be the same kind of thing as normal print on demand. Mark probably has some great ideas for when you work with him. I know you could reach out to Custom Happy, my old fulfillment center, and they work with people like this all the time, where you would send in some product ahead of time, and then they could customize it for you and then ship it out as you make sales.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Mike Nunez will be
Right.
covering day three. Like what he does with this, he sells these types of products. He acquires e-commerce brands and then grows them, and customization is one of the ways he sells more of those products. And so he actually has a network of providers that he works with to customize those products. So he's going to be sharing that with us. And by the way, he doesn't not sell any services or anything. So, it's like both Rachel and Mike today are just giving you guys tons of value with with nothing else, no strings attached value there. So love that. So yeah, and then as Rachel mentioned, like Custom Happy, any kind of fulfillment center is doing different like customizations outside of like your standard like Printify and stuff that has just normal products. We'll usually be happy to do that for you. So and even if you reach out, like I have a client that has a fulfillment center, um, and they're looking for more opportunities like this because they had one of their clients who does candles. They actually print on glass, and they had one of their clients who does candles actually send them the candles, and then they started printing on the candles. So that opened up their eyes to like, how can I work with, more entrepreneurs like this? So there's a lot of opportunities there. So that's how you would use your existing products. Just work with fulfillment centers in your area, give them a call Custom Happy, say, hey, I've got this. I would love to try customizing it. What you might want to do um, is you could test it too, right? Like with one or two products, you could put it out there like a merchant fulfillment option. And then, before you go all in and send a fulfillment center 100 units or 500 units, you could just test to see if a few of them sell, and you could, pay somebody locally, like the local t-shirt printer or whatever that could quickly print on your design if you have that capability at home with a Cricut machine, whatever. You do a few yourself first, make sure people are actually going to buy that weightlifting strap that's customized, then actually send them into your fulfillment center. Anything to add there, Rachel? Did I nail that? Did I mess that up?
Nailed it. Nailed it. I should go back to the slide with the nailed it picture just for you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, one wants to know, she said, I'm outside of the US. How can I make this work? Because you said to do FBM.
Well, you can still sell FBM outside of the US. So you win. And you could sell outside of the US on Amazon. So it's just fulfilled by merchants, and you're going to have the US based suppliers, or really you could use any supplier, ship it for you anyway. So where you live doesn't matter.
Amazing, amazing. Um, and then somebody asked, how do you bring traffic on your listings? And what is the proportion of paid versus organic? I think you kind of already answered this, but bringing traffic, how do we get traffic to our new designs and listings?
Yeah, so the traffic's going to be by you having really good keyword optimized titles. And so that's why you want to put in what people would be searching for when they find you, and then putting that in the title so that you can get found. Now, a lot of the times you might not get found, right? Like it's that's why I'm saying you can expect to fail 98% of the time. But when you get hyper specific, there's not going to be a lot of competition, and that's when you'll get found.
Okay. And so some questions from the Q&A. We've already answered about fees, expenses, and profit. How do we find a niche or a category that we should focus on? Because you did present a lot of opportunities. How do you narrow down your niche?
So I just say get to as many niches as possible. I'm not doing any narrowing down. I'm actually expanding. And then once people pay for the products, then maybe I'll narrow down from there. But I just want to make it as simple as possible for now. So narrowing down means research time means the opposite of chill until we validate.
Got it. Okay. And then let's see. Um, Let's see. Oh, okay. Anna says for the training, when going on the link to join the webinar, the email address field is locked on Rachel's email address. At least for me, it is just making sure we actually get registered for the training. Is anyone else seeing that? The problem with getting registered for the training? All right, and then we can we'll follow up with that. Um, And then Gina wants to know what is the best way to market the products?
So it's really using, oh, it looks like everyone's having the issue. Do you happen to have a link? I thought I did some ninja work with that, but apparently I didn't. Training link.
Yes,
Uh,
I believe I have a bit.ly. Let me look it up here. bit.ly. Let me log in. So yeah,
Thank you.
I'll fix that link there and then yeah, if you want to keep answering questions.
Yeah, totally. And then I'll update the redirect and everything. So marketing the product is really just a matter of coming up with the right titles where you have what people are searching for. So I know someone said, oh, if you have no ads, you show up on page 300. Yes, that is true. If you are going after competitive keywords. So if you're going after best mom mug and you have no ads, then of course you're never going to get found because you've got 87,000 people competing with you. But if you have personalized squirrel cutting board, there's not even 300 pages to worry about. Okay, thank you, Amy. She put the updated link on there.
Yeah, so it's just bit.ly / LHS pod. So low hanging system print on demand is what that stands for. So I will share my screen and you guys can check that out. So here it is, bit.ly / LHSPOD.
I just took off. You said you wanted to share your screen?
Oh, yep. I think it was sharing. Did you guys see that? So we'll leave that up for a little bit here for those people who want to get registered. And so let's keep going here with questions. Um, as far as getting to market, let's see. I'm trying to find my Q&A here. I had it open.
Rachel, you should create a new brand called the Relaxy Taxi.
Oh, I love that. The
Relaxy
relaxing
taxi.
taxi. Oh, the visuals,
Yeah.
poetry. Yes, Jordan, you're natural.
Have a
So
friend talk about that.
Rebecca wants to know, does your third party integrate with Amazon so they get your orders automatically?
Yes. So, oh, that's weird. I just tried to redirect and it gave me a spam thing. Um, so yes, you can write to Custom Happy and they have a backdoor order desk that you can use. And then Printify also does Amazon.
Okay.
And
Amazing.
then Amy, can you send me the long link, please, when you get a chance? Because for whatever reason, it's going to a spam thing when I try to redirect it for people who are watching the replay.
Yep, no worries. I will
Thank
get
you.
that
Thank you.
over to you. Um, and let's see here. And then what follow-up question from Red. What would you say ad spend is annually, regardless of product?
Um, I'm not sure off the top of my head. Let me see if I can go find it. And feel free to keep asking me questions while I look, but I will see what we did for the last 12 months.
All right. And okay, thank you guys for pointing out the um Sai says, okay, I think I get your niche down, get the small number of niche buyers and list thousands of niche listings. Is that the idea?
So yeah, niche first, just go a bunch of, yeah, bunch of different things. And then let's say you sell something in wheelchair or in basketball. So then you make more basketball products and then you also sub niche and make for the wheelchair basketball, the basketball coach for the point guards, etc. So yeah, cast a super wide net and you don't want to necessarily stop, but then you'll scale the things that are working well. It looks like I don't have last 12 months rolling for ads, but we spent 5,000 in June and it's a higher month for ads because it was Father's Day. So probably between 40 and 60K. And it's again only on products that are proven to do well because people have bought.
Got it. Got it. All right. And I am going to send you this link here.
Thank you.
Yep.
And yep, I'll make sure to get Amy access to the deck. I see
Yep.
people listening.
And here is the actual Zoom link. And then so Rachel, you can grab that as well. And I'll also throw it in your WhatsApp.
Thank you very much.
All right. Did we cover everybody's questions? Like what I want to ask from the audience right now is what was your key takeaway here? Like, was there something, did you have an aha moment? Did you learn something new? What was your key takeaway from what Rachel presented here? Impressive with no inventory. Very good. Patty says, I missed some of this. Are replays available? Yes. You guys are going to want to add team at profitmultipliers.com to your email because everyone who has registered will be following up with replays and information. And it's going to come from team at profitmultipliers.com. So that's where we'll be sending out replays, everything else. But as you notice, when you join in live, you get to ask the questions. So that's really awesome. Patty said she forgot how important customization is. And James says, love using trends to make money with very little capital. Mark says, how easy it is to create and throw a wide net. And Julie says, aha moment, use ChatGPT to look up niches. I love the ChatGPT prompts that you gave. I love the way you talk to ChatGPT. It's awesome. Like the energy, it's really, really fun. Anna says, the simplicity of getting started. Samuel says, my aha moment was how easy it is to use AI to create designs. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay. Okay, this is a really great question from Rebecca. She says, how much time do you spend on customer service and returns? Do returns come back to you or the third party? Do you get a lot of returns?
Yeah, I don't get a lot of returns. And I think You can obviously set your return standards, but a lot of these are made to order, so most people don't accept returns. Of course, if there's a broken mug or something like that, then the third-party fulfiller will fix it for you and ship it out. But for the most part, no, refunds probably less than 1% of the time are a thing.
Yeah, I think when you order something custom, unless it's just really like expectation versus reality, like you order a mug and it just like the design is printed horribly and it just looks terrible, like that's the only time is if there's a quality issue, probably, but usually what's good is that quality is pretty consistent, right? So as long as your design is good and it's being fulfilled with quality, people are usually usually a gift, so they're usually going to keep it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. I don't know how we are on time. I see some in the Q&A. I can also, if we're ready to go for the next person, I can type them in as he starts going. So whatever's best for you.
Yeah, I think we have a few more minutes, and I know James is here and ready to go as well, so we could answer a few more questions, and then we'll turn it over to our next speaker.
Perfect. Yeah, okay. Well, then I see biggest sales channel is only Amazon and Etsy. So Amazon's my biggest, but I also sell on Etsy, Fair, merch. Walmart is starting to get some steam. So those are the biggest ones. And then I've got multiple Etsy stores. And then you want me to just rapid fire down the Q&A?
Sure, yeah.
Let's go. Okay. So, can you get traffic from Instagram or TikTok? You absolutely could, but for me, that's not chill, so I don't do it, but you could. How to have one consistent, it's not relaxy taxi. How to have one consistent avatar for each mug. You don't need to have a consistent avatar for each mug because you're selling to tons of different groups of people. So whoever buys the welding mug isn't going to buy the teaching mug, so it really doesn't matter. The average life cycle of a print-on-demand product, someone says, I assume the name of the game is pump out as many trendy products as possible. So I actually am probably more 90% evergreen, or I'll have things that might sell years later than I am trendy because this is a very chill business for me. I don't spend that much time on it. Um, so yeah, most of it is actually thinking in terms of how can we make it good to go for years, for birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, etc. What percentage do I sell on Amazon versus Etsy? My Etsy sales have taken a freaking nosedive. So I think last month, maybe 25K Amazon, 25, like it's probably 10% on Etsy right now, which I need to dig in and keep going. But Etsy has been a dumpster fire. Mark asks, I've bought your low-hanging system many years ago. Does it include ongoing updates? Yes, it does. Nick says, how do you price your products? What's the target margin? So I generally do around 19.95 for a mug, but you just kind of go in and you test. If you see things are selling, you want to play around. But target margin is going to be, I have one student who always wants at least $10. I'm usually at least $5 to $10. Does Amazon offer a brand referral bonus? Probably, but I'm not sure.
So Amazon brand referral bonus, that is for if you're sending external traffic through ads. So yes, I'm sure they would because it's a normal product. So it just depends on if you set that up when you're running ads to your products and if you're running ads to your products, that is or external traffic to your products. That's how you set that up inside of your ad campaigns for Amazon. So all right, amazing.
Rachel, you are amazing. Thank you so much. That was fantastic.
Thanks for
And
having me, guys. Hmm?
just to throw in there also, on the AI side, follow Rachel there's a lot of people who are really good at AI, but not like Rachel is. And I've seen the behind the scenes and it's incredible. So on top of everything else, she can work magic with AI. It's incredible. I mean, like truly like mind bending.
Thank you. Thanks.
I love it. She's amazing. I can't wait for our training together coming up soon. And I hope you guys are going to be tuned in for that because we're going to dive even deeper. And it's really, really awesome. All right. Well, without further ado, Jordan.